Hi, my name's Yasmin and I'm the DM.
Hi, my name is Samantha. I play Laura Greyvale and she is a sorceress from the province of Nephalia.
Hi, I'm Ryan. I play Ogvar Shawfort, a goat-herding, mushroom-seeking ranger from Kessig.
Hi, I'm Rick, and I play Otto, a spring sage from Hanweir sworn to the land, wandering the plain and setting wrongs to right with his ursine companion, Bojo.
As we dropped back into the investigation in episode 173 at the home of the absentee astrologer Hans Reinhart, Otto, Ogvar and Laura were looking for a tangible lead. On the ground floor of the building, the discovery of blood belayed bad tidings indeed, whilst at the top of the house his telescope told a telling tale of its own. All in all, our companions had concluded that things in Gatstaff were looking seriously grim. As our trio took their leave of Hans's homestead, they diverted their attention to the town's tavern, the Rhubarb Elderflower, thinking that they may perhaps procure some pertinent information as to the insidious goings-on in and around the town. With the now redundant and melancholy mineworkers gathered in the aforementioned watering hole, their foreman's temperament soon flared under the certain influence of a sinful skinful. The party attempted to interfere in an altogether awkward situation, and as the proprietor made some prompt moves to placate his disruptive patrons, he politely offered hospitality to our heroes, but suggested that they kept a particularly low profile in the interests of avoiding a more energetic exchange. Taking time to gather their thoughts, what will the group do next? Episode 174, Warded Walls. Esther? Are you there? Esther?
You are met with nothing but the crackle of static.
Laura looks to Otto and Ogvar, raises an eyebrow with a slight look of concern. Eric! Eric! Can you hear me? I'm calling you. Eric, come in. Are you there?
Nothing.
Laura's jaw's going to drop very slightly. She's going to lick her lips nervously, and she's going to turn to Otto and Ogvar, hold the amulet out away from her neck towards them, and then just turn her other palm upwards. What the hell? Where are they? Where could they be? We left them in the middle of a lake. Where could they be? Is this going to be a problem?
Well, I suppose we could go back and check.
And are you sure you're even using it right?
Yes.
Have you tried hitting it?
I'm not going to try and break it.
No.
They are not.
Knock some sense into it.
They are not answering. That's not a good thing.
Maybe Eric doesn't know how to use it. Maybe his is broken.
Well, yes. Well, Esther's as well.
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe you haven't got a roaming tariff on it.
It's not connecting. It's not connecting to the magical webs.
You
We've run out of data. Stop up.
Holy sweat. I've got the mobile data switched on. God. I could just pull myself together.
Can't you turn on Find My Friends and see where he is?
You flip over the back and it's a little notice that says no sim.
Oh God.
Sorry.
It's a burn amulet. He throws it out, pulls out another one. Oh God. What do you think we should do? How long did it take us to get into town? I was so busy looking at the scenery, which is really quite beautiful, but how long did it take us to get into town?
It was about an hour.
About an hour. Okay, so if it took us about an hour-ish, I'm just guessing, to get here, it's going to take us that to get back, but if we make haste, we could make it back a bit quicker.
Yes.
You
Right.
want to go check?
I think so.
Hang on. I haven't tried this. I'm also just going to take off this amulet and just pass it to Elora. Hold that for a sec. How about I go ahead and message you back and let you know
Hang
if
on,
there's a
wait a-
problem.
What? Why don't we just send Murdoch and I've forgotten the name of my familiar. Rowan.
Wow.
Thingy, whatever
Wow.
her name
Best
is.
friend in the world. What's your name again? Yeah.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. Alora is going to try and invoke her empathic link and give Rowan the feeling that she needs him to come back.
Okay.
So she'll wait a few minutes. Does Rowan appear?
He doesn't appear after a few minutes. You imagine he's gone off to do some investigating. You've sent him off, so you wouldn't expect him to come back that quickly because he's probably quite a distance away right now.
Okay.
Listen,
I'll
just
tell you-
take that amulet. I'll be a bird for a while. Just try and
Actually,
wrap it
so-
around my neck. Because if I change
One
while
second.
I've got it around my neck, it will become part of me. But if you put it around my neck while I'm in a different shape, then it should stay. And then hopefully it won't be too heavy that I can't fly off.
Elora,
Yes.
when you try to connect with Rowan empathically, you cannot feel anything. The feeling that you usually get of his enjoyment, excitement, quest for mead, you don't get any of that. There's silence on the other end of your wand.
Okay. Alora has heard what Otto's just suggested, what he's just said to her. But realising that reaching out she can't link, she can't feel Rowan, I think panic would start to set in a little. She'd start to lose it a little bit, I think. I've got no awareness of Rowan. I can't feel him. It's like he's not there. I can normally sense him, but I can't sense him at all. Something's not right. This is really worrying. We can't get Esther. We can't get Eric. I can't sense Rowan. Yeah, Otto. I think if you can go into bird form and move swiftly, I think that might be a good idea. And then we wait here.
We can start making our way there.
Yeah, okay, we'll do that. That's a good idea, Robert. We'll start making our way down this track. We'll walk swiftly. You'll find us on the route back.
Okay. So Otto's going to turn into his sort of favourite aerial form, that of a blue-banded eagle. They don't really exist, but he kind of likes the idea of blue. And he'll sit and, once he's turned into the form of this eagle, he'll just sit patiently while you try and put the amulet around his neck.
Yeah, she'll try and fasten it round with whatever she's got. She'll. Ogvar, have you got a bit of bandage there?
I might have a bit of something. I'll find something like a scrap of leather or there's something.
Yeah, she'll use the little scrap of leather cord or whatever it is that Ogvar's got, and she'll actually try and fashion it around. So it's probably tied around, maybe fasten it to his leg, Because an eagle's quite large. Maybe fasten it to his legs. So
Yeah, I mean, it's an amulet, so it's on a leather thong anyways.
Yeah, okay, so I think she'll tie it around the leg, above the knuckle joint of his leg.
Yeah, okay, yep, so you tie it on.
Yep.
Secure.
Given I can speak in this form, I shall just give a little goodbye, and then, without further ado, we'll just shoot off in the direction where we left the ship.
Allura will just call after him. Be safe. Be safe.
Chance of it before I think.
Okay. So, Ogvar and Allura, you start making your way back through town, heading out towards the wooden palisade where you entered. Meanwhile, Otto, you shoot off. You streak off ahead of them, travelling incredibly fast. I would like you to make me a spot check, please, Otto.
Okay. So that is just a 2 on the dice, unfortunately, but that is plus 18 for 20.
Just a what, sorry?
A 20 in total. Dirty 20.
A 20. Okay, yeah. So with that, Otto, as you leave Allura and Ogvar behind on foot, and you shoot off, you cross over the town quickly. And as you approach the wooden palisade, your eagle eyes catch sight of a slight shimmer where you wouldn't expect there to be one in the sky. What are you doing?
First, I'm going to circle that location just to see if it's visible, if I see anything else from any other angle.
Okay, so you start circling, and as you start circling, you start noticing more and more of these kind of almost prismatic kind of shimmers up in the air.
Okay. Is there anything else around that area of interest on the ground or in the sky?
No, not apart from these shimmers. No.
And is this more or less where we left the ship?
No. So this is by the wooden palisade.
Oh, I see. Apologies. Yeah.
Around the town.
Oh, yeah. All right. So I'm going to perhaps slow down a little bit and almost graze it with a wing as I'm turning.
Okay. You slow down and you graze it with a wing, only to be met with a solid force.
That's what it's afraid of. Okay.
And you will take 3 points of electric damage
Ooh, heck.
as you do so.
Well, that's unpleasant. Okay. After a moment of shock,
Does that come through the amulet? That's all we get back.
I'm going to flow down to, I think, the southern gate, which is when we came in through, I think, and
Yep.
I'm going to alight on the ground not far from the gate itself and just see if that prismatic effect covers the gate entrance.
Okay. So you are kind of in that area already. You alight on the ground, I'm assuming inside the town, and you can't see that prismatic effect in the gateway. You can still see Oswald and Adam either side of the gate outside, who look a little surprised to see a large eagle just land on the floor.
Oh, they haven't had a shift change yet then?
They haven't had a shift change, no. But what you do notice, Otto, is as you kind of spiral down and as you land, you can indeed see this prismatic shimmer as about 10-15 foot in front of the gate on the outside. You again catch this slight glow,
Okay. Well, I'm going to do
and
that
it's very subtle.
I'm going to do that sort of hopping gate that birds tend to use when they're on the ground, and head towards the gate, ignoring the guards, and just try and touch it.
Yeah, so you travel the 15 foot out towards this shimmer, and it does move with your view. So as you move, the shimmer kind of moves almost as you'd expect, with perhaps something like a pane of glass. As you move your head, the reflection on it changes. You go and you tap it, and you take another 3 points of electric damage as you are once again shocked as you tap this solid surface.
Well, I'm about to upset the guards.
So he's now gone 10 or 15 feet outside of the gate?
Yes, he's about 15 foot outside of the gates. Oswald and Adam are looking very confused. He's walked up to where he's got this prismatic kind of sheen, and he's tapped it with a wing. It feels solid, and he's also gotten shocked for his efforts.
So, Otto at this point will start swearing, as he's wont to do, in common. But when he got shocked, did the guards show any curiosity, any response to him being shocked specifically?
No. So when I say shocked, it's not like a zap of like lightning shock. It's like a static charge.
Like a crackle.
So there is a slight crack, and then you just feel the pain racing through your nervous system.
Well, without changing form, he's going to eye up these two guards. Oi!
Oh no!
What the fuck's going on here?
All you hear is ah! Ah!
As two more crows fly in.
They start flapping.
As the guards just panic because a bird has spoken to them. You see the one grips his bow, Adam grips his bow tighter, Oswald falls flat on his arse, and they panic for a moment before they realise, hang on a second, I recognise that voice. And
if you don't put that spear down, I'm going to insert it somewhere it's going to hurt. Now, what the fuck is going on?
That's going to ruffle their feathers.
Oh, God, here we go.
Oh, my God.
Terrible.
That sent Ryan's going to the sweets. He's chewing furiously.
So Adam kind of he puts the bow down. He looses the bow, and he kind of what do you mean?
There's some sort of wall or barrier here. I can't see it, but it's not letting me out.
He walks up to you and he feels, he reaches a hand out to kind of where you're indicating, and very quickly you hear him go, oh fuck, as he's clearly been shocked.
Told you.
What is, I don't know what this is. What is this?
Oswald?
He's picked himself off the floor by now, and he's kind of come over and he's looking down at you quite curiously. Yeah.
What the fuck is this?
I don't know. I don't know.
Right. Do you have?
And he kind of jabs at it with the end of the bow, and gets shocked for his trouble.
Shocking, yes. Do you have any wizards or any priests or any spellcasters here who could affect something like this?
No, the only priest was Samuel, and the only spellcaster was Hans.
Okay.
I mean, capable people rather than just normal, lighting fires and stuff, and normal kind of capabilities. But yeah, it was only Hans and Samuel who were kind of the strongest spellcasters in our settlement.
Now, this obviously responded to them holding non-living things and not let those out either. Shit. I'm going to resume my human shape in front of them.
Yep.
Actually, probably have to shake the damn amulet off first and then do it. So you probably see him clawing frantically at the damn amulet to start off with. Turn back to human shape. Still swearing. Right. Okay. I am going to try and cast a spell through it. Okay? Just to see if magic can penetrate the barrier. We're just going to go for a simple create water the other side of it.
Okay. While you were doing that, Ogvar and Laura, you would have walked through the town square and been coming up to the southern gate at this point. And you can probably see in the distance, about 60, 70 foot away, you can see well, I say distance is really distance, but you know, for a fair distance where you can see Otto turning back into his human form and appearing to cast a spell. So Otto, you cast Create Water. You create a lovely stream of water. Cast it at this wall that you've encountered.
Yeah.
And it splashes against it, much like you would expect if you cast a stream of water at something solid like a stone wall. And you take.
Yep. There we go.
4 points of electric damage.
Shit.
As you do so. But the water does not pass through.
He'll turn round, eye up Oswald and Adam as if they're somehow the reason for this, and stalk off back to his friends, probably somewhat black-faced and cursing under his breath with every step.
Yeah. And can you all, as Otto approaches, could you all please make me a spot check, please?
Yeah, if I can find what I've actually done with my dice tray, I will do exactly that. Oh, he's over there.
Got a 5 on the dice plus 18, 23 for Otto.
23.
Sorry, did you say it's spot check you said? Didn't
Uno, you've rolled.
That one.
Oh.
here we go. This is going to go well. Awesome. Okay, that's a 14 plus 7 for a 21 from Alora.
21. Okay. So Ogvar, as you something compels all of you as you kind of group back together to look upwards.
Sorry.
Something compels
Was
all.
that the microphone stand or you?
I had a droopy microphone.
Something compels all of you to look up. And as you look up, Ogvar, you trip on a rock and you fall over, flat on your face, on your snogging.
Awesome.
But both Otto and Elora, as you look up, you can see what still is a pleasant-looking day. You know, kind of clear skies, fairly blue for Innistrad. You look up and you see above you grey wispy clouds are starting to form. The sky in the distance is still blue and still looks good, but just above you, above the entire town, you see these kind of wispy, dark, grey looking clouds beginning to form an almost circle around the town.
So it's like rotational, almost like a whirlpool effect.
No. So they're just starting to form. So you can just see trails of like wispy grey. And they are moving It's slowly, very, very slowly. But it is in kind of like that circular pattern. So you imagine if there were loads of clouds, you'd be able to see it kind of swirling. But it gives you that impression that it's just starting to form, whatever it may be.
Awesome.
So, Ogvar being flat on his front, stays on the floor, rolls over onto his back, and looks up.
Yeah, you look up and you see this, yeah.
Ooh. So is it quite obvious that something's going on here that's not going on out there?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that looks ominous.
Yes. I suggest we get inside.
Yeah, that doesn't look normal.
No.
I don't think.
And can everyone, because you've all got magic, can everyone make me a knowledge arcana check? If you've got it. If not, straight knowledge. Or if you can use nature as well, if you would like.
Yay.
That's very nice, thank you.
Okay, that is a 15 plus 10 for a 25 for Aurora.
Nice.
Okay.
Decent roll.
8 with a 12 for Ogvar for a 20.
Okay.
10 plus 16 for 26 from Otto.
Okay. So yeah, you're fine. Yeah. So with your various checks, you're I'm assuming you've gone for nature, Rick?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, okay. So, Otto and Ogvar, as you kind of look up and you take a glance at these clouds, you can tell these clouds, they're not magical, they're not magically formed, they don't look like they're magically formed, but you would suspect that there's something that is happening here, whatever this weirdness is that is going on, is causing a natural effect to take place, which is forming these clouds. Elora, as you look up and you catch this prismatic sheen as well, I'd say at this point you've all pretty much noticed, kind of like flipping over, looking up, you'd notice this weird kind of sheen in the sky, and you can see it kind of directly overhead as well.
Right.
And the way that the light kind of glints and moves, you just get the impression that this is curved, it's like a dome of some sort.
Yeah.
And Elora, as you look up and you kind of trying to sense and make sense of what's happening, because it's clearly not natural, it's clearly something unnatural. With that Arcana check, this isn't an effect you kind of recognise, but you looking at the clouds forming, you know, with your combined knowledge, you kind of get the impression that these clouds are forming because of this the charge that this field clearly holds. Something about it is causing these clouds to form and start to form above the town.
Okay, guys. Looking at this, presumably Otto would have told us that he'd been shocked by us. Did Otto? No.
Yeah, I jumped the gun a little bit on that, but I'm
Would
assuming
Otto have told us? Yeah.
I've jumped
Yes.
the gun a little bit there, so I'm assuming Otto would have told you, because he's not going to kind of be like,
what he was going to
everything's
be doing.
fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, based on what you've told us, Otto, I'm looking at this up here. It's almost like some kind of a dome is forming, like almost like something that is encasing us potentially in here.
Like a spider under a glass.
It's like a charged electric field.
On the plus side, I don't think we're going to get wet.
So we can assume that whatever is blocking your spells is blocking anything magical, which is probably why we're not getting an answer from the ship.
I would
And I
assume so.
can only assume that wherever Rowan's gone, he's either outside of the palisade walls or he's above the area of this effect, whatever it is. I've got a couple of things I can try. I mean, it depends on whether it blocks all magic. I can try and I can send myself a distance out towards the forest, but it's whether
you can get back in.
Well, if it will let me out, in theory it would let me back in, but it's whether I come up against a wall and it blocks me.
It might hurt as well, whatever you're trying.
Well,
So something a little less magic-y and something a little more practical, maybe. And Ogvar just takes an arrow out and fires an arrow out, see if it will go through. Not like full draw, not like...
Yeah, you're not full.
More like a lob throw for like an arced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, so like non-magical items.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we potentially came through it, so we might potentially be able to walk back out. I don't know.
I think this is...
So you fire off an arrow, and it arcs upwards, and starts to pass through what you assume is the wall. As it gets partway through, you're thinking, excellent, it's going through. Until the arrow is violently shredded apart with an electric charge.
Ooh.
Don't think you're getting that one back.
That didn't go that well. It was a nice shot though, Oliver. It would
Yes,
be.
but it's better it happened to an arrow than someone here.
Agreed, and we already know that Otto's taken some injuries from coming up against it.
I'll be
We've got to
fine.
think about how we get out of this. This is Oswald, Adam,
Yes, yeah.
I take it this is something new.
Yeah, I'd say so. Never had this before.
Completely unfazed.
Has anybody got a ballista? Or a cannon? Ooh! A cannon. Oh, I can't contact the ship. Alora's just thinking to herself.
Okay, can you all make me a spot check, please? Another spot check.
Okay. Use a different dice.
It's gonna be a DC 20.
Sorry, what are we doing? Spot check.
Spot check, yeah.
Spot.
What was that, Rick?
19 on the dice, plus 18 for 37.
Oh, that's tidy.
Sweet. Yep.
And Laura has a 13 plus a 7 for a dirty 20.
Dirty 20 just makes the DC.
18.
Doesn't make the DC.
No.
I think they should invent a cocktail called a dirty 20, don't you?
Oh, absolutely,
Pretty sure
yeah.
already want to use this. What is it? Just all the sludge out the bottom of the.
No, it's not a top shelf job. It's going to be quality, this, if you're doing it.
It's the worm out of the bottom of, is it the tequila or whatever?
Oh, yeah.
Tequila worm.
Yeah.
Lovely. Moving swiftly onwards.
An umbrella.
So both Elora and Otto, as you're turning around and observing, you've observed this effect, you're kind of turning around and kind of looking to kind of see what the hell's going on. Both of you are able to see that this effect, these kind of clouds, grey swirling kind of misty clouds, that they're starting to build up a little. It's not a rapid growth, it is clearly a slow growth of cloud. But you are able to notice the same effect occurring over the top of the mine.
Like
Separately.
A separate effect.
No, like this, the same effect, and you would imagine kind of looking over, you kind of squinting, you actually imagine that this effect encompasses the town and the mine.
Oh, the whole thing. Oh, we're under the dome, guys.
You're under the dome. You get this impression that you are very much being corralled into the town and mine.
Right.
Is it statically charged? All
Go and lick it, see what happens.
not a Thunderdome.
Well done, Ryan. Give you that one. Yeah, okay.
It might just be my age, but that's just completely missed me. So.
Mad Max?
Mad Max, yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah. Still no idea.
Never watched it.
Oh my god, cult film. Right. Look at Rick's face. He's like, what?
Gonna shock you more when I tell you I hate Star Wars.
Consider it to be more disappointment that Sam has not made you watch this.
Okay, I just need to clarify here, just out of character for a moment.
Yeah.
So the town is covered by a dome.
Uh-huh.
The mine appears to be covered by a dome.
Same dome.
So how come there is, if the dome comes down to the floor beyond the south gate entrance, then
Yeah.
The mine's to the
is
north.
it a series of domes that are joined?
No, the mine is north.
Oh, okay. Right, yeah.
So the mine is at the north through the north gate. The south gate is where the one which you came
Right,
into
and
to
the
get to
dome
the
ends
ship.
just beyond the south
The
gate.
dome ends like 15 foot beyond the south gate, and you
But
can
it's
see this
stretching all the way
effect
to the north.
stretching, and you can see this kind of effect occurring over the top of the mine. Kind of part way up the mountain, you start seeing these kind of grey, fuzzy, fluffy, like misty clouds forming.
Right. Does it look like, from where Laura stood, does it look like the dome has completed above them, whatever this
Yes.
effect is? Oh, it has.
Yeah. As you look up, the only hint that you can see that this dome or this wall actually exists is this kind of prismatic shimmer,
Yeah.
which as you turn your head and you're looking around and moving your head up and down, the shimmer kind of moves with it like it would when you're looking at an angle at a piece of glass. The shimmer, the kind of reflection moves.
Is Professor McGonagall stood the other side? She cast that dome, didn't she? Have you got a wand? You know, swish and flick, cast a protection spell. Anybody with me? No? Okay,
Nobody wants to join you on that journey.
Different world. No idea what you're talking about.
Apparently, yeah.
What's a McGonagall? What's a McGonagall?
Yeah, I don't know what McGonagall is.
For lack of a better way to investigate this, I'm going to make certain assumptions that obviously something within the area is the source of this. We can't see anything out. We wanted to investigate the mine anyway. If it's encompassing both, let's just go investigate the other one, if I might suggest. Because without knowing the source, we're left with either A, hoping it goes away, or B, looking around somewhere in the hope that it does. We can find the source. That make sense?
Yeah, sure. I mean, my fears have been about the ship have slightly been alleviated because clearly we can't get a message through to them. There's something blocking that. So, okay, let's go back to the previous. Let's go back to our previous plan. Let's go up to the mine. We can go to that, can't we?
Maybe grab a lantern or something on the way for Ogvar. Make sure you can see down there.
Yeah,
yes, good idea.
Yeah, fine.
Okay, so you are heading up towards the mine.
Yes.
At this point, I'm assuming you are going to get any bits you need to prepare yourself. There's obviously a general store in town and stuff, so anything that you need to get, you can get hold of.
Cool.
So lanterns, rope, hammers, picks, pitons, anything you need, you can get it. And you start making your way up towards the mine.
Did I find a dark vision potion in town or not?
Let me roll for that.
Keep your fingers crossed, she's rolling.
High or low?
Make a good choice here.
And which one's which?
High is good.
High is good. 40 straight. So
Ah!
unfortunately, you are unable to find a potion of dark vision.
There's a shelf with an out of stock sign.
Yeah.
As a
Yeah.
as a little thing, I would grab a couple of pieces, a few pieces of chalk, if I may. That's about the only thing I can think of
Yeah.
useful.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, my chalk got soggy.
I bought chalk.
Right, you've
Sorry,
all got
I'm-
chalk. Well done.
Yes, can I replace my chalk as well? Because mine got soggy.
Yes,
didn't
you
it?
can replace your chalk. You're going to pay for it though. You're not going to replace it
We're all
for free.
playing
How much is
hopscotch.
chalk? What's chalk? 1 copper piece, isn't it, or something?
1 copper, yeah.
Yeah.
Most expensive thing in the book. If it's
Do you need
very
a
small
loan?
book. Well, Otto does actually need a loan, yes.
Gotta find my money.
God.
Oh, God, I don't even know where my money is now.
Okay, so you make your way towards the north gate, perhaps with a little bit of trepidation as you kind of pass through and like, I'm going to get zapped. But you don't get zapped, you're fine. And you start walking out towards the mine, which doesn't have a name because it's just a mine. So you start following what appears to be a well-worn dirt path. You imagine you can see lots of like kind of carriage ruts in here, quite deep ruts. But you imagine if they're weighed down with ore, they are going to be heavy carriages. Clearly, having been pulled by sturdy ponies or horses. The hoof prints are quite large and quite deeply indented. And you just follow this track. The forest on either side of you is thick and lush, and it isn't long before you come to the entrance of the mine. And this mine entrance, at the entrance you can see there is a kind of a large clearing, clearly where there's bits of lumber and shovels and other bits and bobs. Yep.
As they were walking, because all this is going on, Allura will cast Mage Armor Greater on herself.
Yep.
She'll cast that on herself, and she's going to cast it on Ogvar as well.
Okay. Sweet.
Because Otto has the ability to change form, so she's going to do that for now.
Okay.
So how many more points does that give me? Is that 6?
It would be 6, but you've got armour, so it would be 4.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. So in this clearing, you can see again carriage tracks. You can see a couple of carriages almost ready to be pulled away with silver ore piled up inside. You can see one carriage has been turned on its side in the tree line. And the entrance of the mine is ahead. It looks dark, very traditionally kind of supported with wooden beams. And yeah, you can see things in the general area, usual kind of stuff, lanterns, oil, picks, shovels, everything that you'd imagine kind of would go with a mining area, rope, etc.
I think that seeing Elora prepping a couple of spells, I think Otto will do the same. He's got a spell called Snowshoes, which is a little bit like Longstrider, but he'll cast that on himself, and I think also on probably Elora just in case. It's plus 10 to inflicted movement, lasts for 5 hours. And he'll also cast Magic Fan Greater on himself, which is going to be something that might come in handy later. And at the moment we'll leave it at that. I think he's got a couple of other preparatory spells, but they're not quite such long duration, so we'll leave it there for the moment.
Okay.
So can we see anyone in the area? Because obviously we did see movement up here before. We were looking for some tracks as well, because we saw that beast up. Well, I saw that beast up here.
Yeah, so you can't see any. So there's no people in the area. You can't hear any people. Can you all make me if you're looking for tracks, a tracking check or a nature check? If you're looking at, and can everyone also make me a listen check, please?
So you say nature check is a possibility for tracking as well?
Yeah, if you're tracking, make me a nature check. Apart from I've always got tracking as a feat.
Okay.
Okay, Laura doesn't have tracking and she doesn't have nature, so she probably just wouldn't make that check. She'd leave that to the boys.
Yeah, well, if you're not tracking, then that's
No. So it would just be
listen check.
A listen check. That would be a 19 plus 6 for a 25 for Laura, so that's pretty good.
Okay. Yeah.
Which one do you want?
If you want to give me the tracking first and then the listen.
Tracking was 22.
22, nice.
Which was an 8 plus a 14.
Yep.
And the listen was another nat 1.
Oh dear. Okay.
Get them out of the way now, mate. That's it. Yeah, no more for you now today.
And
Change my D20 again.
I'd offer you mine. So nature check for tracking was a 15 on the dice, plus 16 for 31. And the listen check was 9 on the dice, plus 18 for 27.
Okay, sweet. So both Otto and Ogvar, as you're kind of looking around, looking for any traces of people, of anything going on, you can see what you would assume to be kind of normal footwear on the ground and on the landscape. The kind of normal impressions that people would make moving around and actually working in this space. You do, however, both notice some animal tracks, what looks to be footprints from, or paw prints from, some kind of canine creature, quite big by the looks of it. And Otto, did you get 31, was it?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, Otto, you also see 2 extra things. The first thing you see is some trails of blood splatter in and around the area, which look like, you assume that some of these men, if they've been chased out by beasts, have been injured. You'd assume it's their blood, as they've received injuries on their way out. But you... Yeah, no, that's all you notice. And for the listen check, Ogvar, you're focusing on your tracking. You don't hear this. You don't hear anything. And both Elora and Otto, you also don't hear anything, but you notice that you don't hear anything. There are no birds tweeting. There are no animals rustling in the underbrush. It is silent.
I think that's possibly the first time I've ever made a really good check for something that I don't hear.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I think we'll just pass on the information about what we've seen. Make sure everyone is aware of what we are not listening, not hearing, and what obviously we found on the ground track-wise.
Okay.
And from the tracks, can we discern how many creatures made them? Is it one creature, or is it like being as a canine, does it look like there's a pack of them, or just a one?
You said there's a couple.
Okay.
It's definitely more than one, but less than 10.
Okay.
You asked.
More than one, less than 10, between 2 and 9.
I'm just going to put
Yeah,
multiple.
basically.
2 to 9.
So, how large are these canines? That's the other thing. Are they more or less? Are they dog size? Are they horse size? Are they human size? What we're looking at?
Well, that's a bit subjective. It depends on your dog, doesn't it? Have you
How
seen
big's
my
your dog?
And on the horse, yeah.
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 1 second, let me check.
I've put on my notes here. Alora and Otto listen and notice that there is nothing to hear.
Got to be a pun in there somewhere.
They are quite large paw prints. You know, they're not coming from your Rattata. They are definitely large, probably about the size of your palm, your hand. They're big.
So possibly St. Bernards.
Possibly a little bigger, yeah.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Whiskey barrels.
Nice. And drool. Lots of drool.
Oh, God, yeah.
And of course we can't hear a thing. Okay. Well, how big is the opening?
About 10 foot wide. It's quite a large opening.
Yeah. And have they been using carts or anything through this? Can we see?
So the only carts that you see are the kind of wooden, like horse-drawn carts.
Yeah.
At this point, so but it looks like they've kind of ferried stuff out and loaded larger carts up. So from inside, so the cart you see overturned and a couple of carts which are loaded up are kind of 2-horse carts.
Yeah.
But you'd imagine they'd probably bring the minerals out with smaller carts and then perhaps load them up, or even wheelbarrows. You know, not clear on how they've done that.
So can I just check a couple of things? So the mine opening itself is 10 foot wide?
Yeah, 10 foot wide.
10 foot high?
Yeah, it's a kind of a square kind of opening. It's a kind of classic wooden beams propping up the sides and one across the top in kind of gaping black hole kind of thing.
And we can see 2 carts, one that stood correctly and one that's on
There's a
its
couple
side.
of carts. You know, there's a couple of carts, a couple empty, a couple filled, one on its side.
Okay.
You're in a kind of a clearing which is about 40 foot wide, and it's literally just been cleared, and you can see that they've got lumber, tools, spare bits and bobs, lanterns, all of the kind of junk that you need to do mining essentially, and spare equipment.
Okay.
Okay. Excuse me.
Okay. Well, there's no sign of any life nearby, so I think we've got 1 or 2 ways to approach this. Either we go looking to see if there's another entrance as a just in case first, or well, we go and do things that I presume is going to be the hard way.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just having a think. If somebody else wants to just do something, I need to just have a moment to think.
What's your vote,
Sit in a
Oakville?
moment.
Laura is going to cast invisibility on herself.
Okay,
For now.
excellent.
Which is that that's a concentration?
Yeah, I believe so, yes.
Standard action.
Is it concentration?
No, it's not a concentration spell, but it drops if I make an attack. So,
Cast a spell.
if she casts invisibility on herself, can she also prepare another spell to hold?
Yeah?
As long as it's not Well, actually, it doesn't matter if it's a concentration spell, but... okay, she's going to cast invisibility on herself. So she's going to quietly wave her hand, facti sunt, and she's going to turn invisible.
Excellent.
And she is going to prepare a lightning bolt, which she is going to hold the charge on.
Sweet. Cool. Yeah, you do that.
Well, it's going to make you somewhat harder to see,
Right.
Alora.
Do you want to lead on, or would you like me to?
I'm not particularly. I don't mind. Do you want a bit of light? See how dark it is in there first, I suppose.
Yeah. Actually, is it lit in there? I mean, are there like lanterns or torches still going?
No. From what you've kind of inferred and learnt in the town, Davy and his crew were kicked out of the mine a good couple of days ago. So any lanterns that would have been left burning, you imagine, have used up all of their oil and burnt out by this point. So it is dark. So are you actually going in at this point?
We'd be looking in to see what was going on, yeah. I would have thought.
I think Otto is going to, in preparation for this being a bit of a naughty place to be, is going to do his best impression of a bear, by which I mean he's turning into a bear.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So it goes bear.
So you are turning into a large creature, yeah?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
A medium, yeah, large creature.
He's going to fill that corridor, guys.
That's all right. You can both walk behind me if you're going to protect me and heal me. Otherwise, you both bloody walk in front of me.
Right. Okay. Well, we just have to remember that he's taking up like a lot more room now.
That's fine. He's
That's-
wide. He's a wide load.
Because large creatures are they're 10 foot, aren't they? 4
10
squares.
foot, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they're,
In
they're
the
4
cross,
squares.
Wow.
cross section of the square in the middle, and you'll be able to see me easily.
I
Yeah.
think we'll use him as a barrier. We'll put him in front.
Yeah, so we might have to. It's a bit tight though. We'll have to butter up the bear to slip him through.
The
Butter up the bear.
Yeah,
You're on
these,
the plus
he does
side.
get a little bit tight there.
Butter up the bear with a bag butter.
I've got a grease spell. Will that work?
Lubricate the bear.
Lubricate the
Lovely.
bear, yeah.
If you're
okay,
behind
so
me, no, you may not.
Okay, so as you get into kind of the entranceway of this mine, you realise that there's a very short tunnel, about 10 foot long, and then the room opens up. You can see that obviously there's this kind of natural shaft of light illuminating kind of across the middle diagonal. And what you can see in this illuminated kind of beam, bear in mind you've now got a bear casting more shadow, is you can see what appears to be like the entrance chamber to the mine. Across from you there is the start of a mine track where there is a little mine cart sat, and the cart is clearly full of ore, and the rest of the room is filled with boxes, barrels, crates. You can see kind of picks leaning up against the wall, picks against the barrel, perhaps a lantern or two which is clearly gutted out, having had no oil left, perched atop where you'd imagine obviously this would be illuminated. And it's quite a high arched room, and you can actually see that lines have been strung up across the walls with tacked in with kind of pitons almost, where lanterns were hung and were lit but are now unlit because there's no oil in them, and that kind of carries on. So this mine cart on this mine track is a very rickety looking mine track. That disappears into what you can only assume is the next chamber in this mine. And that is the scene you see before you. And at the front, Otto, could you please make me a spot check, please?
I certainly can try. A 4 on the dice, so
Alora
just
is-
22.
Alora is not getting into another mine cart. I'm just putting that out there.
Okay.
If you do, Ogvar's still got the brake handle from the last one. Came off in his hand. Still in my inventory.
Okay, so with a 22, Otto, as you look around the room, obviously you're the first one in, you look around and it seems kind of fairly normal. You can see a couple of scuffles in the dirt, clearly where people have tried to rush out in a hurry. Again, you can see some more of these tracks. But what you also notice is atop this minecart, which is across the room, it's full of ore. It is also coated in blood.
Looks like someone had a bad day.
Where is the blood located again?
Atop the cart. So you've got, so on the map there where that barrel is, you've got a little blue line. That blue line is your mine track, and that kind of T piece at the top is the stoppers.
Okay.
The cart is sat right on the top of the stoppers, kind of in that 5 foot square.
Right.
And it's full of silver ore and coated in blood.
Oh. Okay. Alora will step forward. Obviously she has dark vision from her Eye of Avacyn in the right eye. She's going to step forward and just touch the blood and turn her hand and look at it to see whether it's dry or whether it's wet.
Okay, so you're all kind of coming into this area. You're all walking in.
Yeah.
Just want to be clear. Right,
All
so
right.
if you want to
Yeah.
move yourselves into the mine entrance, there we go, you're in the first chamber of the mine.
So we've got Big Bear in front.
Big Bear
and
in
then
front.
Ogvar and Alora behind Big Bear.
Okay, and you are walking up and touching the blood to check it out, yeah?
Yeah, so I think Alora would just come forward, probably just past Otto, to just put a hand on the... Why is the demon grinning?
No worries. Okay, you're touching it.
Yes.
Okay. As you lay your hand on it to touch the blood,
God.
you think for a second, this blood is tacky, it's fresh.
Time to take-
And then you realise, oh shit, I'm stuck to the minecart.
Oh,
As...
Oh,
God.
God.
Not again.
I think Ryan's got a longer reach than
Fuck's
you.
Yeah.
Could you just pop him on, kind of that one in front of Alora? There we
Over
go.
there.
There we go, that's the badger. As you realise, oh shit, I'm stuck to the minecart, and can everyone please roll me initiative?
Oh,
Oh, brilliant.
fucking hell. Having made a collective decision to head for the mine, Alora's senses soon foretold of troubles ahead. As the friends turned to their floating fortress for reinforcements, Alora's calls for aid were left unanswered as the ship had fallen silent, and Rowan could not be roused as her familiar was nowhere to be found. As an eagle-eyed Otto set off to check on the ship, he encountered a magical barrier of an electrical nature affecting the entire town and beyond. With a quick shop of some essential supplies, it was time to take their leave and head for the hills. Finally, having made it to the mine, they crossed the threshold into a tunnel followed by a gloomy chamber. The contents of a minecart were a cause for concern, but that was just the beginning of a bigger problem.